Alrighty guys, what's going on? It's Phil here, and welcome to my WWE Crown Jewel 2025 predictions. WWE Crown Jewel is upon us and it takes place on Saturday in Australia, and man oh man, are we gonna have to wake up bright and early for this event. It takes place at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and with 5 matches already announced for the card, and most likely that's going to be it for the show. There's not a lot that's actually going to be on the line for this show, but this show honestly does have a lot of potential of carrying out a lot of things for the future of the WWE for at least the next 6 months. WWE has actually done a really good job at building towards WWE Crown Jewel this year, and with, the WWE Crown Jewel Championship matches that are set to be taking place at this show, one of them more in particular, especially the men's one, is definitely something that we're all going to be having to witness, because at the end of the day, that one can really carry some huge pieces of momentum and a huge piece of stories moving forward heading into Survivor Series and even WrestleMania down the line in April next year. So we're going to be talking about every single match that takes place at WWE Crown Jewel 2025. I'm going to be giving you guys my thoughts and opinions on what's ultimately going to be happening and where I think WWE storylines can go from here after Crown Jewel is all said and done. So if you guys like what you see today, make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and turn on the bell for all notifications. That way you guys never miss another upload right here on the YouTube channel. I gotta get more consistent with these. I understand that, but if you guys ever want to see anything from me, let me know down in the comment section below. I'd be happy to make videos for you guys on whatever you guys want to see. I'll even make a community post on it. Just let me know what you guys want to see, and I'll do my best to make that happen. But now, let's get right into these predictions, starting off with the matchup between the Tribal Chief and the Tribal Thief. It's Roman Reigns taking on Bronson Reed of The Vision. Now, of course, the stipulation heading into this matchup between Roman and Bronson Reed is an Australian street fight, and this is going to be definitely a different type of matchup for these two than we saw the first time around when they faced off at Clash in Paris. But when it comes down to the grand scheme of things, just like I was talking about in other videos in the past about Roman Reigns and Bronson Reed needs to pick up the victory in this matchup here against Roman Reigns. It is a must win for Bronson Reed in this matchup here at WWE Crown Jewel, not just because it's in Australia where he's from, not just because of what the ultimate stakes are for this thing if Bronson Reed does not win this matchup against Roman Reigns, but ultimately just the overall look of the Vision as a whole is definitely going to be hindered if Bronson Reed does not take the win here. And I think it would be a huge mistake by the WWE if they just don't capitalize on what Bronson Reed has kind of built up for himself ever since this whole Tribal Thief gimmick has kind of fallen into his lap. With everything that's happening right now in terms of the story heading into this thing, we all know that Roman Reigns has been a manipulative SOB over the course of the last couple of weeks, especially when it comes down to Jey Uso. We all know that WWE right now is kind of making Jey Uso a little bit of a miniature version of the Tribal Chief himself and Roman Reigns. And obviously, Jimmy Uso, his brother, not really happy about that. We could possibly be seeing the Usos in this matchup in and of itself because of the street fight mentality, and at the end of the day, we could be seeing even Braun Breaker get into the mix as well. I mean, there's a lot of things that could happen within this Australian street fight. So when it comes down to the overall elements of this matchup here, you really gotta take those into account. But I think WWE should really capitalize on what Bronson Reed brings to the table, make that a huge moment for Bronson Reed as we head towards War Games and as we head towards, future PLEs in the future for the WWE heading into the next 6 months. You make a statement right now for Bronson Reed defeating somebody like Roman Reigns, and that can easily catapult him to star-making abilities moving forward. So I'm going with the prediction of Bronson Reed defeating Roman Reigns in this Australian street fight at WWE Crown Jewel. We go from one Australian to another as we have Mommy Rhea Ripley teaming up with IYO SKY to take on the Kabuki Warriors in Asuka and Kairi Sane. First of all, I have to give WWE their props. When it comes down to this match happening at the PLE, there's no other better direction and no other better choice than to have this match take place in Perth, Australia. We all know how uber popular Rhea Ripley is. We all know how beloved IYO SKY is, and at the end of the day, we all know how we've been seeing a lot of people get sympathy on Kairi Sane ever since the whole Asuka turn and everything of that nature. Asuka right now is truly hated by the WWE fanbase, and people are really trying to get behind Kairi Sane. And honestly, you're seeing the whole hashtag on Twitter and on social media, hashtag free Kairi, because of everything that's happening right now with Asuka and how she is just ultimately controlling somebody like Kairi Sane. So there's a lot of stuff that's going on here within this tag team matchup here, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what all four of these ladies can do. So you don't only have all of that to look forward to within this match alone, but when it comes down to the overall booking style of WWE and what WWE brings to the table, we could honestly be seeing WWE go 50-50 in terms of the Australians having their wins and losses on this PLE. We all know that Rhea Ripley, uber popular, not just within the States, but obviously from Australia. You know, at the end of the day, a lot of people are just ultimately going to assume that Rhea Ripley and IYO SKY are going to be picking up the victory here at Crown Jewel, but I don't think so. I think WWE is ultimately going to pull the trigger on Asuka and Kairi Sane, ultimately winning this matchup here at WWE Crown Jewel, making, the fact of the matter is these two are truly future pieces of the women's tag team division moving forward. And, we all know that IYO and Rhea are absolutely huge pieces of the women's division. But when it comes down to the WWE Tag Team Championship division in terms of the women's side of things, we all know that IYO SKY and Rhea Ripley probably aren't going to be looking towards that in terms of everything. We could be seeing the Kabuki Warriors get into the mix of the tag team titles, possibly taking those tag team titles off of Charlotte and Alexa Bliss, who are really not kind of doing anything right now at the moment with those tag team titles. Have Asuka and Kairi Sane win those tag team titles, and they could easily be a huge force within the women's tag team division moving forward. Now let's just say Rhea Ripley and IYO SKY do pick up the win at Crown Jewel in this matchup against the Kabuki Warriors. I'm not going to be mad at that whatsoever. I just think WWE has a huge opportunity to garner a lot of heat for the Kabuki Warriors by having them defeat the likes of Rhea Ripley and IYO SKY. To me, the end goal is to have the Kabuki Warriors become tag team champions. That is ultimately what I want to see coming out of all of this. But at the end of the day, we'll see in due time what WWE has in store. I'm going with the Kabuki Warriors to win this tag team match against Rhea and IYO. Now let's talk about one of the WWE Crown Jewel Championship matches. Let's talk about the women's side of things first, as we have the WWE Women's Champion on Friday Night SmackDown, Tiffany Stratton, taking on the WWE Women's World Champion of Monday Night Raw in Stephanie Vaquer. Now we all know that at the end of the day, the WWE Crown Jewel Championship for both the men and the women realistically don't mean a single thing. They are just there to look pretty. They're just there to ultimately represent who is the champion of all champions for that division. And at the end of the day, that's what this match is all about. You have the two champions fight it out to see who's the very best. And at the end of the day, when it comes down to this match in particular, you got two great young women of the future for the WWE in Tiffany Stratton and Stephanie Vaquer. And at the end of the day, I feel like I don't realistically care who comes out on top of this thing. Stephanie Vaquer and Tiffany Stratton are huge future pieces of the company. They automatically got the rocket strapped to their backs and got championships relatively early heading into their WWE career. And now we just get to see this match go bell to bell and see who's really going to be on top by the end of it all. Tiffany Stratton, on one hand, is undefeated in 2025. Stephanie Vaquer ultimately did just win her World Championship not too long ago, about a couple of weeks ago at this point, but we all know that Stephanie Vaquer is in the eyes of the WWE fan base right now, and not only them, but WWE as well, as, like I said, they strapped a rocket to her relatively very much quickly. So we all know that this match is going to be very much intriguing in terms of who is going to be walking out the winner. But in terms of who I think is ultimately going to be coming out the winner of this entire thing, I'm going to go with Stephanie Vaquer. Mainly because, not just because of the whole undefeated streak factor of Tiffany Stratton and having Stephanie be the one to finally dethrone and defeat somebody like Tiffany Stratton, but at the end of the day, I just think that WWE just really has their eyes set on Stephanie Vaquer just truly being a future face of the women's division, not just for both Monday Night Raw, but also for Friday Night SmackDown as well. Just the WWE as a whole. WWE sees a lot of the marketability for somebody like Stephanie Vaquer, being bilingual, being, just a huge star. And I'm not saying that Tiffany Stratton is not a huge star. We all know that she is, but we all know that Tiffany Stratton's run as the WWE Women's Champion right now is kind of getting stale because she's just running out of challenges at this point. I mean, she's faced Jade Cargill and Nia Jax for like the umpteenth time at this point, and right now it feels like WWE is just kind of going through the motions with Tiffany Stratton as the WWE Women's Champion over on Friday Night SmackDown, but when it comes down to somebody like Stephanie Vaquer, it's new, it's fresh, and we're going to be getting to see a lot of fresh new matchups for the Women's World Championship on Monday Night Raw. I just think WWE really does need to just change things up a little bit when it comes down to Tiffany Stratton. Give her a heel run because she's ultimately, to me, so much better as a heel, and I feel like, honestly, just flipping her to a more heelish type of character for somebody like Tiffany Stratton is just ultimately going to open up a lot more things for the women's division of Friday Night SmackDown if they just give it a chance. But regardless, that's a whole other different kind of story for a whole other type of different video. But I'm just going to go with Stephanie Vaquer to win the WWE Crown Jewel Women's Championship, get that ring at the end of the night, and we'll see ultimately what happens at the end of the day, because I mean, this realistically doesn't mean much, but we'll see how both of the trajectories go for the women's champions moving forward as we head over into the next couple of months. So I'm going to go with Stephanie Vaquer to win the WWE Crown Jewel Women's Championship, and we'll see how it all plays out. So there you go. Up next, let's talk about the match that was all built through social media. It's John Cena taking on the phenomenal AJ Styles. Now this match is going to be so freaking good, man. I cannot wait for this matchup between John Cena and AJ Styles. Now I understand this match was realistically all built through social media. I understand that John Cena threw out some feelers on social media, sent out that tweet during Monday Night Raw of AJ Styles, and everybody went ballistic. Everybody wanted to see this matchup between John Cena and AJ Styles. We've been wanting to see this matchup from the very beginning of the John Cena retirement tour. And trust me, I know that we have been through so many ups and downs throughout this retirement tour for John Cena, but now we're only on 5 appearances left, and I still can't believe I'm saying that. Only 5 more dates left for John Cena in the year 2025 and of his career for the WWE. John Cena is going to give us absolutely everything that we ever wanted. He is. He is going to be giving us absolutely everything that we ever wanted out of this retirement tour, because at the end of the day, he feels like we are owed that. And I understand that we only have 5 days left. I understand that at the end of the day, it's going to hurt when John Cena is no longer a part of the WWE. But when it comes down to this matchup here, just being built on nostalgia alone, at the end of the day, sometimes that's okay. That is perfectly okay. Because do I expect this matchup to be of the levels of the 2016, 2017 versions of John Cena and AJ Styles? No. But am I expecting a damn good matchup between the two veterans that know exactly what they're doing in and outside the ring? Absolutely. Because John Cena and AJ Styles know exactly what this match just brings to the table for the WWE, not only in 2025, but for us, the fans that have been solely riding with these two over the course of their entire careers. Now, like I said, we are riding a lot on nostalgia for this matchup here, but at the end of the day, like I said earlier, that is perfectly fine, because sometimes we need stuff like this. We need rivalries renewed like this between AJ Styles and John Cena to reset, recharge our batteries, and ultimately, at the end of the day, just fall back in love with the world of professional wrestling. Go back to that time when we saw AJ Styles and John Cena back in 2016, 2017. Incredible matches between the two, and now we get to see that in 2025. I cannot wait. This is going to be absolutely incredible. John Cena wins, and we'll see what's next for the rest of the 4 days that he has left on this retirement tour. And god dang it, I cannot believe I'm even saying that. That hurts my soul. But John Cena wins this match at Crown Jewel. And now it's time for the main event, or at least what I presume is the main event, the Men's Crown Jewel Championship between the WWE Champion, Cody Rhodes, and the World Heavyweight Champion, Seth freaking Rollins. Now for Cody Rhodes, this is his second time fighting for the Crown Jewel Championship, and Seth Rollins, he's desperate for a win against Cody Rhodes. The one thing I absolutely love about everything that has happened for the build heading into this Crown Jewel Championship match is that there is a legit story heading into this thing. Last year, when we had the Crown Jewel Championship be on the line for the very first time between Gunther and Cody Rhodes, there realistically was not that much of a story at all. This right here has context. This right here has a huge story and a huge implications heading into the future of the WWE. Seth Rollins is desperate for a win against Cody Rhodes because Cody Rhodes has had Seth Rollins' number ever since coming back to the WWE. I mean, let's just face facts. Cody Rhodes is 3-0 against Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins does not have a win against Cody Rhodes. And Cody Rhodes has ultimately just been very calm, cool, and collected throughout this entire ordeal, while Seth Rollins has been making mistakes that he realistically has never made before. If you take a look at this match on paper, Cody Rhodes should lose, should 100% lose, because we all know that Cody Rhodes has been the guy of the WWE ever since he realistically came back to the company. I mean, he ultimately had to grow in order to get there because obviously you have to build your way back up. But at the end of the day, WWE has positioned Cody Rhodes as the guy realistically ever since, just going through the motions of trying to defeat Roman Reigns the first time, ultimately having it not happen, to ultimately get it to happen the second time at WrestleMania 40. But Seth Rollins right now is leading the group called The Vision, and he truly believes that the vision of the future of the WWE goes through him, and everything that's going to be, going for the future of the WWE rests on Seth Rollins' shoulders. And if he has a vision for what the future of the WWE is ultimately going to be looking like, what good would it do if he loses this match? Nothing. He honestly would look like a fool if he lost this match to Cody Rhodes, if he has this huge future plan and this huge vision of what WWE is going to be looking like in the eyes of what Seth Rollins ultimately wants it to look like. So, in all reality, Seth Rollins has to win this match. This is a must-win for somebody like Seth freaking Rollins. A huge storyline piece within all of this is what's going to be happening between Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman, because Seth Rollins asked Paul Heyman straight up, what happens if he loses this match? And Paul Heyman flat out said that he loses the credibility of what he ultimately brings for the vision. He loses the locker room. He loses the trust of Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. And he asked what ultimately is going to be up to Paul Heyman if he loses this match. And Paul Heyman could quite possibly be thinking something different, as he might have wondered why he ultimately went with him instead of staying with CM Punk, or choosing what he ultimately had in the first place, and that was the Tribal Chief and Roman Reigns. Simply put, WWE just flat out nailed everything that they needed to do moving forward heading into this Crown Jewel Championship matchup between Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes, because we all know that the psychological warfare between these two has been absolutely tremendous to see on WWE programming. Cody Rhodes' cool, calm, collected demeanor heading into this matchup because he's beaten Seth Rollins 3 times before, versus Seth Rollins, who is just a desperate man trying to get a win over somebody like Cody Rhodes because he is just absolutely obsessed to get that win. And it's a story that could ultimately hold a lot of weight heading into the next 6 months of WWE programming because of everything that happens with the Vision moving forward, and ultimately what happens with Paul Heyman if Seth Rollins does not get the job done. So this is ultimately going to be a huge future piece of the WWE moving forward over the course of the next 6 months. Now, in terms of the ultimate result of this matchup here and who I have picking up the victory at Crown Jewel for the Crown Jewel Championship, I'm going with Seth Rollins to win this match. But I'm not going to go with a clean victory here, because I think WWE truly does have a lot set in stone for the Vision moving forward, at least heading into the next 6 months, especially as we head towards War Games in November. I think Paul Heyman is going to have an ultimate plan set in place if Seth Rollins cannot ultimately get the job done over Cody Rhodes. He's going to have Braun Breaker and he's going to have Bronson Reed in his back pocket just in case, so that if Seth Rollins ultimately does need the help, they are going to be having his back against Cody Rhodes and ultimately run down to interfere within the match. The interference, of course, helps Seth Rollins win the matchup against Cody Rhodes, but now, as we head towards future weeks of WWE programming, Seth Rollins is ultimately going to be questioning the motives of Paul Heyman, of his Oracle, because he now knows that Paul Heyman truly did not believe that Seth Rollins could not get the job done. And because Paul Heyman did not believe in Seth Rollins' ability to defeat Cody Rhodes on his own merits, now we gotta wonder what's gonna be next for the Vision as we head towards War Games. That builds a lot of tension for the Vision as we head towards that matchup there, because we all know that most likely the Vision is going to be a huge piece of the War Games match. We also know that the next 6 months of WWE programming, if Seth Rollins does not win that match, that leaves a lot riding on the table. So, who knows what's ultimately going to be happening there? And then we ultimately have to wonder where Paul Heyman's true alliance lies, because we all know Paul Heyman's a snake. We all know that Paul Heyman, at the end of the day, he loves to switch up on his people. And at the end of the day, we don't know what Paul Heyman truly is believing at the end of the day, and who he truly believes is the future vision of the WWE, who is the future piece of WWE moving forward. We could be seeing that as soon as this Saturday at WWE Crown Jewel. There's a lot riding on this match, man, and I absolutely love that, because they made a match that ultimately meant nothing in the grand scheme of things last year between Cody Rhodes and Gunther, and turned it into a huge story for implications down the line heading into the next 6 months. So I love absolutely everything that WWE has done here, and I hope WWE does more stuff like this heading into the future of the Crown Jewel Championship even being a thing. But there you guys have it. Those are my full thoughts and opinions on WWE Crown Jewel. For my predictions, I will be getting out a review shortly after everything is all said and done for WWE Crown Jewel as well. Enjoy the show, guys. Enjoy it if you're waking up at 8 a.m. to watch the show. If you're not waking up at 8 a.m. and just watching the show later on within the day, have fun watching it then too. And at the end of the day, guys, let me know your thoughts and predictions down in the comment section below. But while you're there, make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, turn on the bell for all notifications before you get out of this video. And guys, at the end of the day, just enjoy professional wrestling for what it is. Enjoy it for the entertainment that it provides us. And I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one, stay safe, God bless, and peace.